This very well packaged parcel contains a security camera from a company named SOVMiku. This is a so-called proprietary camera. That means it only works with the manufacturer's app, and that's it. It does not support any open protocols for video transmission, and that means you are not able to use other software packages to communicate to it. You will have to be using the official app. But more on that later. So this is a standalone camera. It has an inbuilt lithium battery. It uses a solar panel for charging. It has built-in Wi-Fi, and it also has night vision capabilities and PTZ control. The box contains everything you need to quickly install this camera. There is an instructions booklet, which is a very well-written one. First of all, it's in English, and it has not only well-drawn diagrams, but also some pictures on different options the camera can be installed. So the camera body itself can be installed in different ways, and also the solar panel can be installed directly onto the camera, or it can be installed at a distance, since the solar panel is detachable and it has a wire long enough so you can install the solar panel where it will get the most sunlight and still orient the camera to the place you want to monitor. SOVMiku also have a single-piece solar cameras with a built-in solar panel. However, this design is more versatile since you can mount the solar panel differently. Also, if you don't plan to use solar power, you can power this device from a simple USB power adapter or any other source of USB power, and it will work just fine. The camera body is made of white plastic, and since this is an outdoor camera, as well as an indoor camera, it does have some protection from the outside elements, such as rain and snow, and all the connections are additionally protected by silicone rubber plugs. There is actually not much going on, since it only has a USB connector for power, a slot for an SD card, and a single button to power on and power off the device. That's it, no more controls. The camera doesn't have any inbuilt storage for footage, and you are supposed to insert an SD card to provide such storage. However, it's not really necessary. The camera can work and record images and everything even without an SD card. And this is how I tested it first. So I didn't plug in any SD card. The mounting was pretty straightforward, thanks to the very detailed instructions. But I'm mounting this temporarily, just for the sake of making this review. This is not the spot where the camera will sit eventually. Also, I'm mounting the solar panel right on top of the camera. There is a little bit of excessive wire, but the mounting bracket has a special cutout groove where you can place the cable, and all in all, the mounting didn't take long, and I was finished in about 10 minutes or so. Mostly thanks to this camera being autonomous and practically wireless. You don't need to provide power, since power comes from the solar panel, and you also don't need to provide an Ethernet connection, since this camera has built-in Wi-Fi. During a week of testing, there were quite a few rainy days, and the camera got wet very often, but it seems to operate just fine. However, since it does have an inbuilt lithium battery, and you're also supposed to put an SD card inside it, those two things don't really work very well and survive cold temperatures. So if you live in a very cold climate, maybe this camera should be mounted indoor, like next to the window in a heated space, and not outside, just to make life easier for it. Once the camera is mounted, we need to set it up. As I already said, this is a proprietary camera that only works with its specific app. To find out which app we need to install, I went to SOVMiku website, found the model of the camera, and there is a link to the app. The app is only available for mobile operating systems, that is Android and iPhone. However, when I clicked on the Android link, for example, the actual name of the application is Vico Home. It's not SOVMiku. Vico Home is a well-known app which is used to control a wide variety of devices that have a camera in some capacity. Not only security cameras, but also baby monitors, for example, smart doorbells, bird feeders, and those type of devices. There have been an effort to decode the stream from those apps so you can use your own app to control the camera, but unfortunately they failed. Vehicle Home is the only app that is currently available for this particular camera. And all the usual risks for a proprietary app are true about this camera. It doesn't work without the app, as I said. The app connects to some servers located no one knows where. Your privacy is not guaranteed, since your camera can be accessed from somewhere there. And also, if for some reason this application or the servers that run it stop to exist, you will not be able to use your camera. These are the common risks of owning a proprietary camera. However, the app itself is pretty common. As always, you register an account using your email address, and then you need to connect the app to the camera. The camera can be connected directly via Wi-Fi, so your phone connects to the camera directly, then you use the app to enter your Wi-Fi password, and as soon as you do that, the camera will be connected to your Wi-Fi router, and your phone will also be connected to your Wi-Fi router. The problem is, even though the app can control the camera directly, as soon as you connect it to the internet, you need internet to be able to communicate to your camera. Even if your phone and the camera are connected to the same Wi-Fi router, they will not communicate directly. All communication will go through the internet to some server and back to your camera. That means that if for some reason you lose your internet access, you will not be able to monitor your camera. And this also eliminates a use case when you just want a camera which you can monitor from your phone in an environment where there is no internet connection. There is Wi-Fi for the local network, but there is no internet. In this case, you will not be able to get the image from the camera. This is one thing. The next thing, the business model for most of these cameras, including the brand ones, is selling you the security camera as a service. And the service in this case is cloud storage. So as soon as you install the app, you will be bombarded with offers to purchase cloud storage from them with a monthly subscription. If you decline all those offers, you will be offered free 2-year subscription for the cloud storage. So each of these cameras come with a free 2-year cloud storage. You just need to decline all the offers until you get your voucher. Cloud storage is a good thing. It allows you to still be able to retrieve your images in case someone steals the camera itself. Also, while configuring the camera, you will be presented with the choice how the camera is powered. You can choose the solar power, the wall power, and other options. After the setup is complete, there will usually be a new firmware for the camera to be downloaded and installed, which is actually a good thing since the manufacturer actually continues support for the devices. The app itself is pretty standard for such devices. You can set up the image quality and other parameters of the video, and you can also use it to control the camera itself. First of all, there is PTZ control, so the camera can rotate around and also tilt and go up, which is quite handy actually. And it also has all the usual controls. You can turn on and off the sound transmission from the camera, so the camera has a microphone built in. It also has a speaker, which you can use to sound an alarm, or you can use your phone to talk through the camera. So a microphone and the speaker on the camera turns it in a two-way communication device, which you can use to communicate with anyone near the camera, for example, a delivery person. You can also start and stop recording, turn the inbuilt floodlight on and off, and also manually sound the alarm through the app. As I said, the camera is charged using a solar panel, and since this is a separate device, you can actually purchase those solar panels separately on the same website, and they also have a Type-C connection. I was curious to check how much actual current this thing produces on a gray, rainy, snowy winter day. So I connected it to my phone using the Type-C connection, and on average, on a gray day, I was able to get about 2 watts of power, or 500 milliamps, which is your standard USB power source. Everything above that is actually over the USB standard. And another thing I decided to check is how long the camera will work without the solar panel. I left it outside for 5 days, and in 5 days it only used about 3% of the charge. The reason why it happens is this camera is off most of the time. It is activated by the motion sensor, which is the second lens on the front. When there is no movement, the camera is not working, and that saves lots of power. It also has a way to somehow save power on Wi-Fi. The camera goes to sleep, but you can wake it through the app and it will wake up no problem. I'm not sure how this wake on Wi-Fi feature actually works, but apparently it does, since it's not the first Wi-Fi security camera I review which has the same capability. So even Wi-Fi is turned off to save power. So most of the time the device is off, that's why it saves power, and it can run on a single charge for a long time. Definitely enough to run through a night. Speaking of the night, this device has some color night vision capability, which produces color images at night depending on the ambient light. However, it also has your normal infrared night vision, which uses special infrared flashlights on the camera itself, and this works perfectly at night. The only problem is you get black and white images. And of course, it can turn on the visible flashlight to capture fully illuminated color images, even in complete darkness. During the daytime, the images are also perfect, and I have no complaints about the image quality. They seem to be truly 2K images. You can download the recorded images through the app. The app also notifies you with screenshots whenever the camera detects any activity, so you will receive a notification on your phone. And you actually don't need to insert an SD card. However, I decided to insert one, and at first it wasn't detected at full capacity. So I inserted it into a card reader on my PC and found out that most of the space on the micro SD card was in a different file system. So there were actually two partitions. Anyway, I deleted both of them, inserted the card back into the camera, used the app to format the card, and this time it detected the full capacity, which is 64 gigs in this case. Well, 59 since they calculate gigs in a different way. And I tried to see what the camera actually stores on the SD card. So I did a few recordings and gladly find out that the recordings are not encrypted. They are your normal MP4 files, which can be viewed on basically any device nowadays. And this also allowed me to see the codec the camera is using. So first of all, it records in 2K. That doesn't necessarily mean that the sensor in the camera is actually 2K, but I tried to do some tests and it seems to be so. So this is a true 2K camera. And also the codec used is H.264. It's not the worst one. However, nowadays H.265 codec exists, which is much more efficient. That means you get better quality images that take less space. And also AV1 codec exists, but this camera uses H.264 codec, which is not bad, but it's kinda obsolete now. But nevertheless, it's still usable. So the final verdict, it's a nice device. It's very easy to install, very easy to use thanks to the app. The only concern is everything about it is proprietary, including the way it communicates with your phone through some server located somewhere. However, this is how most of those consumer-grade cameras operate nowadays, like it or not. And if you need a security camera which is powered by a solar panel, has different mounting options, and has PTZ control, this is definitely worth having a look at. And if you want to do so, the link is in the description.
I'm the god of YouTube!
Like, subscribe, jingle bells.